Hello children, we are discussing the chapter 9, body movements. In our previous video, first we have discussed what are movements. In the body of living organisms, many parts move around its own axis, and whensoever a particular part, region moves around its own axis, that is known as movement. For example, our jaw moves so that we can chew and grind the food. We can move the joints around its axis. These are movements. So when a body part moves at its present axis, that is known as movement. The movement helps the organism to find food and shelter, to protect the organism from their predators. These movements also helps in the performance of various activities to the living organisms. Then we have discussed locomotion. What was locomotion, bache? When complete body moves, when a complete organism moves from one position, one place to another, that is known as locomotion. Plants do not perform locomotion. They perform movements. They have movements, bache. For example, chui mui, Mimosa pudica. Its leaves droops when we touch it. So that is movement. Sunflower, it shows movement, but it does not show locomotion. Why? Because they have roots, and roots provide them anchorage. They'll remain stationary at a fixed point. Whereas animals perform locomotion. Same bache. They prevent themselves from enemies and the predators, to find food and shelter, to go into favorable conditions from unfavorable conditions. So that is the advantage of locomotion to the animals. Whereas plants do not perform locomotion. They will remain stationary. They will remain fixed at a particular position. Then bache, we have discussed the bones, the skeleton system. Skeleton system is the basic bony structure present in the body of an organism. Human beings have 206 bones, but when humans are present in the form of fetus, that is, a human is developed in the mother's womb, in the uterus of mother, then it has 300 bones. But out of these 300, some bones will join together to form the larger bones. And the final remaining bones of a young one, of a developed human being, is 206. These bones join together to perform the movements, to provide a support and shape. These bony structure, this bony cage, the network, the framework of bones present in the body of human beings is known as a skeletal system or skeleton. It has many functions, but as I have already explained, one, that it provides shape and support to the body. It maintains the postures of the body. Along with the muscular tissue, with the help of muscles, you can write, the joints between the bones helps an organism to move, to bend. So that is the function of skeleton. Skeleton also protect the delicate organs, protect the very sensitive organs like ribcage in the chest region, protect the lungs and the heart. Skull, we'll discuss it in detail in this video, protects the brain from any small injury. Brain is a very, very sensitive organ. Even a small injury in brain can cause a lot of damage. छोटी सी इंजरी अगर दिमाग में, ब्रेन में हो जाए बच्चे, तो बहुत ज्यादा डैमेज करती है. तो उस इंजरी से प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए यहाँ पर एक स्कल प्रेजेंट है, बहुत ज्यादा हार्ड. So that is what the protection of delicate organs by the bony covering, by the part of the skeleton system. So moving forward, in this video, we'll discuss parts of the skeleton or parts of the skeletal system. Majorly, skeleton has 5 parts. The first part is skull. The second part is backbone or vertebral column, reed ki haddi. Third is ribcage, present in the chest region. Fourth is limb bones, the bones of arms and legs. These are limb bones. We have 2 kinds of limbs. Forelimbs, aage ke pair, that means our hands, arms, and legs, hind limbs, the legs, which includes feet as well. And the last one is girdles. Girdles are the complex bones in which the other bones fixed. We'll discuss them one by one. So first we'll discuss skull. In Hindi it is referred as khopdi. It is the bony structure present over the head. This reason, this to this reason. This is skull. This bony structure present in these regions is composed and joined together, constitute together to make skull. Skull is composed of total 22 bones. In skull there are 22 bones present, and out of those 22, 8 flat bones, chapti hoti hai bilkul flat, they forms the brain box or cranium, this one. But if we touch it from the outside, it appears as a single bone. It is not a single bone. It is the combination of total 8 flat bones. And there is a box-like structure that is known as a cranium, in which brain is present, in which brain is protected. So it is the function that skull protects the brain from any external injury or from any physical injury. Next, out of 22, 8 flat bones form the cranium. The remaining bones are 22 minus 8, 14 bones. They will form the shape of the face. These are the cheekbones, the lower jaw, the upper jaw hair, where the upper teeth are there, bache. Then these bones are there. These are the total 14 bones in combination, which have these, eyeball spots. The round spots of eyeball are here. So these 14 bones joined together forms the shape of the face. Interestingly, out of these 21 bones, only one bone is movable. Otherwise, all the other bones of the skull are immovable. What do you mean by immovable? Immovable means jo move na kar sake, which are fixed. Only one bone is movable, and that movable bone is lower jaw. The only movable bone in the skull is the lower jaw, this one. When we observe a person from front, when he or she is speaking, it is observed that both the jaws are moving. No. If you look closely yourself in a mirror while talking to yourself, you'll observe that only lower jaw will move like this. So only movement of lower jaw is possible. The upper jaw is stationary, is fixed. So, skull, the part which protects the brain present over the head region, is composed of 22 bones, and out of those 22 bones, 8 flat bones joined together to form the cranium, to form the brain box, which protects the brain. Out of those 22, 8 will form the cranium, remaining 14 will form the shape of the face. Out of these 22 bony structures, the skull bones, only one is movable, and that is lower jaw. The second part is backbone or spine. You know what, bache? If you press the back from the center of a person here like this, you will observe a bony covering, bony cage is there. And और अगर बच्चा आप किसी को बेंड करके हल्का सा फिर पीछे का हिस्सा दबाकर देखें तो बिल्कुल क्लियरली आपको एहसास होगा कि एक बोनी केज प्रेजेंट है, एक बोनी कवरिंग प्रेजेंट है, एक लाइनिंग प्रेजेंट है, दैट इज नोन एज बैकबोन, रीढ़ की हड्डी, द वर्टिब्रल कॉलम, द बैकबोन. It is also referred as spine. In Hindi, it is referred as रीढ़ की हड्डी. You must have seen the posters somewhere. रीढ़ की हड्डी का एक successful operation can be done here on the orthologist. Okay, so these are the doctors which can treat the backbone injuries if someone may have accidentally. So there is spine. Backbone forms the main axis of the skeleton. It is the main axis around which the other bones are present, around which we locate the other bones. We discuss the place of other bones. So it is the main axis of the skeleton. What it forms is, it is composed of 33 small ring-like bones which are known as vertebrae. Those ring-like bones are known as vertebrae. And how many vertebrae are present? 23. These vertebrae join together like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this in sequence, and form a column. So these small bones join together to form a strong column that is known as vertebral column. The complete column, the complete backbone is known as vertebral column. This vertebral column, bache, has some space. How? Basically, bache, this bone is present, this ring-like bone is like this. So one ring, second ring, third ring, fourth ring, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, like this. So it has a hollow space. बीच में खाली जगह है बच्चे. Why? It has an empty space in between that ring. Because there is a structure present in our body that is named as spinal cord. Its name is written on the bone, bachche. This is spinal cord. What it control? It control the movements, lateral movements. You know, if something is crawling over our skin like this, we'll sense it. हमें पता चल जाता है बच्चे. We'll even sense the heat. How that sensitivity comes to our all the parts because of the spinal cord. This spinal cord is a very, very sensitive organ like brain. So that will remain protected. That will remain protected by passing through the vertebral column like this. It will remain in the vertebral column for throughout the whole life. And that's how it will remain protected. So, spinal cord is a very sensitive organ and it will remain protected in the vertebral column. And vertebral column is the composed part, is the constituted part of 33 small ring-like bones. These are known as vertebrae. Next, the bones or the vertebrae of the backbone have certain joints. ये एक बोन है बच्चे, ये दूसरी बोन है, ये तीसरी, तो इनके बीच में joints हैं. These joints helps a person to bend like this. Because of this bending in the backbone, a person can bend. Person can move like this. That is because of the movement. That is because of the joints present in the vertebrae. So that is the vertebral column and its functions. That is, it protects the spinal cord. And the second, the joints present in the vertebral column, in the vertebrae of vertebral column, helps in the slight movements like bending of the body. Now this is the third part, that is rib cage. We have discussed already, bache, the rib cage is present in our chest region. There are 12 pairs of very thin bones from our rib cage, from a cage-like structure which is known as rib cage. These bones are sort of curved, bache, like this. Out of these 12 pairs, the 10 pairs arises from the backbone and move ahead like this, and attached to a center bone named as chest bone. बच्चे rib cage में जो bones है ना बेटा, वो पीछे से आती हैं और इस तरह से chest bone को attach होती हैं like this. The 10 pairs are attached like this, and the last 2 pairs are free. They came from the backbone but does not attach to the chest bone. वो पीछे से तो आ रहे हैं at the end, यहाँ पर इस जगह, इस रीजन में. But बच्चे वो chest bone को attach नहीं है, and those last 2 pairs which are free are known as floating ribs. उन्हें floating ribs बोलते हैं because they do not attach to the chest bone. So that is the rib cage. What is the function of rib cage? It protects the delicate or sensitive organs like hearts and lungs present beneath it. Rib cage का काम क्या है बच्चे? ये जो hard covering है, it protects the lungs and the heart present beneath it. So that's its function. It is composed of 12 pairs of thin and curved bones like this. Curved bones, C or D shape. Next is the limbs. Human beings have a pair of limbs. The first is a pair of 4 limbs, आगे के limbs. Or in human beings, these 4 limbs are modified into arms. The second one is hind limbs. The hind limbs पीछे के limbs. Hind means पीछा, पीछे का reason. So hind limbs means the legs. The hind limbs are joined to spine, are joined to the backbone by a girdle named as shoulder girdle or collarbone. There is a bone present here in this region, a very thin bone. You can observe it by touching it here. That is known as a collarbone, which is present in our collar. So these bones or these girdles helps the bones of arms to join to the spinal cord, and by the help of spinal cord we can sense the various heat forms, touch, all these things. Next, arm has various regions. For example, this is an arm beta. This is the upper arm and this is the lower arm. This one is the upper arm and this one is the lower arm. Till the elbow, upper arm, and this one is lower arm. Upper arm has one bone only here. This is humerus bone. Whereas lower arm has two bones. One is radius at the upper region, and at the lower region there is second bone which is known as ulna. कुछ इस तरह से है बेटा. अगर हम एक रफ स्केच बनाएं, this is humerus, radius, and ulna. This is upper arm and these are the lower arm. Then metacarpals, carpals, tarsals, digits. ये पूरा हाथ बनता है फिर. तो उसके बाद का हिस्सा. So that is limbs. Next is hind limbs, the legs. The legs are joined to the spine by a girdle named as hip girdle or pubic girdle. Hip girdle is also known as pubic girdle. The shoulder girdle is also known as pectoral girdle. So बच्चे, this hip girdle attaches the legs to the spine so that we can sense the various sensitivities, various environmental changes. Likewise, the arms, legs also have two regions, the upper leg and the lower leg. The upper region and the lower leg. The upper region is above the knee and the lower region is lower than the knee. घुटने से नीचे का रीजन लोअर लेग है जिसमें दो बोन्स हैं, और घुटने से ऊपर का हिस्सा अपर लेग है जिसमें सिर्फ एक बोन है, एंड दैट इज द लार्जेस्ट बोन ऑफ आवर बॉडी, दैट इज थाई बोन. If someone asks you which is the longest bone of the body, that is thigh bone, not the largest. Largest is the girdles. So longest bone of the body is thigh bone, the bone which is present in the upper leg above the knee region, and the lower knee region of the lower leg has two bones, tibia and fibula. So basic structural design is same in legs and arms. Next we have the last part is girdles. There are two girdles there are two girdles present in the human beings. One is the upper girdle present in the shoulder region, this girdle here, that is known as pectoral girdle or shoulder girdle. And the second girdle is present in our waist region here, where our waist is there, that is known as hip girdle or pubic girdle. These girdles allows the limbs, arms and legs to attach to the spine, as these arms and legs are not attached directly to the spine. बच्चे, ये जो arms और legs हैं ये backbone को directly attach नहीं है, तो इन्हें spine को attach करने में कौन help कर रहे हैं? Girdles help करते हैं. One is pectoral girdle, that is shoulder girdle, and another one is pubic girdle, that is hip girdle. So that is the part of the human skeleton system. This is the skeleton system of humans in front of you. The main major 5 parts which we will discuss one by one. The first one is this one, this portion. This is skull. Then this is the ribcage. These are the limbs bones. These are the legs and these are the hands. And here there are 2 girdles that I will explain you one by one. These are the systems which are present, which we can see from the front, and the back system. This one is the backbone. So if I will give you a rough idea of these parts one by one, then the first part is skull. This is skull, the head portion. There are bones. If you look closely at this, there is a signs are made. These are the bones. These are the flat bones which makes the head. Then there are face bones. These are the face bones. You must have seen the markings here. These all are fixed, and the only movable joint is this lower jaw. The movable bone is lower jaw, by which we can speak, grind or chew the food. The second part is this one, backbone. This is the backbone. You can see the ring-like structures, and these ring-like structures will form a column-like structure known as vertebral column. Vertebral column helps in bending. Bending में help करता है बच्चे. इसके बीच में joints हैं देखो. These are the joints here. These are the joints between the rings, between the vertebrae. So that is the vertebral column through which the spinal cord passes. Next is ribcage. Look closely. This is the ribcage which protects the lungs inside it. This is the ribcage. Then the limb bones. These are the limb bones. These are the hand. This is humerus, radius and ulna. These are carpal, metacarpal and hands. These are the limb bones. These are the forelimbs. And these ones are the hind limbs. Thigh bone. Then there are tibia and fibula. And these are tarsals, metatarsals, carpals and so on. So these are the limb bones. And the two girdles are present. The one is pubic girdle, present in the lower portion, abdominal cavity se niche. This is, look at these bache, combination of multiple bones and a larger portion in which other parts are fixed like this. This is pubic girdle, and this one is the shoulder bone. These bones is the pectoral girdle. So there are two girdles, and these are the parts of human skeleton system or skeleton of human being.